What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another Marvel Future Fight video. Alright, so in this video here, I want to test the difference between level 70 and level 80. I don't think I've done a video on it before, but I think I've kind of tested out a little bit on my own. Like when I first get the character to level 80, see if I notice how much of a difference it is. I notice it's a really big difference, but today we're actually going to make a video on it. So we have Spider-Man here that is level 70, and we can go ahead and start upgrading him to get him to level 80 and see what the difference is in his damage without changing anything. He doesn't have a damage proc, he's just got a regular CTP of authority. So that will kind of give us an idea of just how much more damage he just does in general without like a damage proc or a CTP or having to worry about, you know, procs or activations or anything like that. So that's good. And then we do have a backup as well with Professor X here, because we can get him to level 80 as well. So I thought if we do it for two different characters, merely give us a good idea if it's, you know, similar for each character, the difference between level 70 and 80. The only problem with Professor X is we do have a CTP of greed on him. So he does have something that will influence his damage, but hopefully we'll be able to see the difference. So I think we're just going to start with Spider-Man here. You can kind of get an idea of his stats here, even though we're just looking for the difference in damage once we get him to level 80. We're not going to be tier 4ing him or anything like that. We're just getting him to level 80, so this is strictly the difference in level and how much that will affect his damage. Don't think... oh, those are already level 6. I was like, why do they need leveling up? I thought I already leveled them up. Yeah, so that's what he's looking like. So let's go ahead, I guess, and get this started. So we'll see what Spider-Man looks like right now at level 70. Then we'll rank him up and see what the difference is. Okay, so I think we're going to do our testing over here at Null. We have stage 20 here, which will work for both Professor X and Spider-Man. We're going to use Dodge Ignore for our lead because I want to kind of eliminate the boss dodging as a factor for the damage. We have 2 Dodge Ignore Strikers because I guess there wasn't any more male hero Dodge Ignore Strikers because I didn't see any others. So we're going to hop in here. I'm going to see how much damage Spider-Man does to Null. I think Null is probably one of the easier ones to test against because he does the same exact attack pattern. So we should have the same amount of delays in our timing for our skills and stuff like that, or what we have to dodge. And for Spider-Man here, we're just going to stick to 3, 4, and 5 and just see how much damage we do, just letting each of those skills play out. And then we are not going to be using the tier 3. I don't want to kind of throw in another skill there. I want to kind of be consistent on the timing here and just keep using 3, 4, and 5 just as soon as they finish playing. We'll just sit here and keep spamming that skill. And we're going to see how much damage we do in 1 minute. So I think that would be a good baseline to get here. Those poison puddles are a little concerning though. Wait, we didn't get snared by that. All right, we got to 53.5. So halfway through the 53rd bar. How many does he start with? Was that 7 bars? Or 6.5, I mean. It was at 53.5. Does he start at 60? Yes, he does start at 60. Okay. So that was 6.5 bars. So let's see if we get 6.5 bars again, or at least close to 6.5 bars. So yeah, we'll just to double check to make sure that we're consistent here. Or it's not stared, it's stunned, I think. Yeah, see, we did this time. And that hurt our timing. Oh, we still got to the exact same, actually, even though we got stunned there. Interesting. All right, so we'll go with 6.5 bars for Spider-Man. 6.5 at level 70. Now we're just going to swap Spider-Man for Professor X here. And then we're going to see what Professor X does in 1 minute here. And then we'll level them both up to 80 and see what kind of bump we get. See if they're similar in terms of how many additional bars they get, or like the percent jump, I guess, in damage. All right, so Professor X, we're just going to stick with the 3, 5, 4 rotation, and then just wait for that skill to come back. 3, 5, 4. He does have greed, so that makes things a little more inconsistent, but we're just gonna keep doing this. Yeah, I mean, as long as we stay consistent with what we do at 70 and 80, I don't think it'll matter what kind of rotation we do. Definitely getting snared here, yeah. So let's wait that out. Do another one here. He's not overtaking Spider-Man by... Oh my gosh, why are we taking so much damage? Spider-Man by very much, which is kind of surprising. We have greed on, which should be increasing our damage. Okay, so that was... We'll go to 50.5. So that was 9.5 bars for Professor X. Again, we'll do one more 1-minute run here. See what he gets. See if we're around the 9.5 bars again. And then it's time to start upgrading. Okay, looks like we... Oh no, it's about the same. We couldn't quite get that rotation in. Alright, yeah, so Professor X was pretty consistent at 9.5 bars. Alright, so we got 6.5 bars and 9.5 bars. So now, yeah, let's go ahead and rank them both up to 80 and see what kind of difference we get in the damage. Okay, so they're both level 80 now, so we got that done. So Spider-Man is up first here, so we're doing the exact same team and strikers. He was 6.5 bars before. I'm expecting to see a pretty big difference, but I'm not sure how much of a big difference it's going to be. All right, same rotation. We're just going to do 3, 5. Oh, yep, see, 5 is making that bar move a lot more than it did before. And then 4. So again, we're just staying as consistently as we can with the same rotation. Just letting those skills play out for the full animation. And as you can see, this is a pretty big difference. Very noticeable difference. We've already blown past the 6.5 bars, as you can see. We're approaching 10 bars. Okay. We still have 9 more seconds. And he is still going. Alright. 2, 1, done. Okay. Well, I guess we can let this skill rotation, or that skill play out, since I think I did that with the other ones before. So we are at 15.5 bars now. So from 6.5 to 15.5. More than double the damage. We'll give it one more go, just like we did at level 70. But yeah, that's more than double the damage. Because we've got more than 13 bars. So from 6.5 to 15.5. Yeah, that's pretty good, if I do say so myself. And now we'll give it one more go here, see if we get close to 15.5 again for consistency's sake. Okay, I mean, it's pretty much exactly the same, isn't it? So we got to 15.5 again, so yeah, pretty consistent there. So 6.5 to 15.5, more than double the damage. We have, what, like a 65-70% increase in damage? Because it's more than double. Yeah, so like a 1.25 increase in damage or something like that. Not too shabby. That is very good just for getting him to, you know, level 80. Because again, dodge should not be a factor here. So it shouldn't be like he is dodging less now that we're at level 80. Because he shouldn't have been dodging at all when we're at level 70. Because we had 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 dodge ignore. Yeah, we had 90 dodge ignore. So I don't think dodge would be playing a factor at all in this. So now Professor X with his, what was he, 9.5 bars? So 9.5 bars. Let's see what he's at now after a minute. Okay. Got a little bit of damage there. Yeah, so just getting characters to level 80 is definitely significantly going to increase the stage that you can now beat in World Boss Legend. Because you're more than doubling your damage, so that will definitely help in pushing higher stages. We could be getting more damage out of him, but I didn't do this at level 70, so I'm not going to be using 2 and 3. Wait, we got hit by this both times, so let's make sure we get hit by it again. We have 8 more seconds. Okay, we get 1 more rotation on. Okay, there we go. So what did we get there? 21 bars? 21 bars from 9.5 bars. So again, a little over double the damage. That is nice and consistent. All right, so that's good to see. I like it when something stays consistent. Again, 1 more run here, but it looks like our increase is pretty much like a 1.25 or 1.2 increase in damage from level 70 to level 80. Let's go ahead and do this again. See if we get close to 21 bars, or if it's going to be a lot different this time. As long as we're close to that ballpark, I'll call it consistent enough. But if we're like, you know, 5 bars different, then probably need to reevaluate what's going on. All right, so I mean that was pretty close to about the same. This time we got like a little under 20 bars, so this time it was basically double the damage. But yeah, that was just like a bar difference, so not too shabby. So I would still say that it's about a 1.2 increase in damage, which is very nice. So all right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up here. So Spider-Man, I just realized that I was saying 1.2 all the time when I was supposed to say 2.2 increase, not a 1.2 increase. I don't know what I was thinking there. I was off by 1 digit, but yeah, so it looked like 2.2 to 2.4 around that area, if I'm thinking about it correctly. Yeah, so 2.2 to 2.4 increase in damage. And then Professor X here, he seemed a little bit lower. I'd still say maybe like the 2.2 at best area, so he was only like 2.1 to 2.2, I think, in terms of his damage increase, but still very similar. So you're getting more than double your damage. That's kind of the takeaway here if you want to get your character from level 70 to level 80 in terms of just their base damage. Well, I guess Professor X did have a greed on, which should have had some, you know, you would think that it'd have a stronger effect. So you would think he would have been higher than Spider-Man in terms of the damage increase, because if you're increasing your base damage, how much you're hitting with your like raw stats, as soon as you start adding a multiplier like a damage proc or an activation, you would think that it would be higher. I don't know, but anyway, hopefully you guys learned something from this video here. I am pleased with the results, just because, you know, I was kind of curious how much extra damage are we actually getting from just going 70 to 80, and it is quite significant. Also keeping in mind that once you get to level 80, you don't really need to have all that dodge ignore that I had before. So then you can now have a damage leadership, you can now have damage striker, so that will also make your damage feel a lot more stronger from getting 70 to 80, because now you don't have to worry about that dodge, and you can actually swap out any kind of dodge that you had in your build currently to damage. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think of that. Let me know if you got different results from your characters from 70 to 80. I'm curious to hear if you thought I should test this a different way, because there's going to be plenty of other characters to level up from 70 to 80. So if there's a different way you want me to test this, feel free to let me know in the comments below. But that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.